Winn. I'm an American. That's something that feels like I have to admit these days rather than be proud of, but I'm one of many Americans who believes in democracy and civic duty and responsibility and compassion and all those things that my country used to stand for. I'm also Luxembourgish, and I've lived here for more than half of my life. My mom lives in Florida. It's a 10-hour flight just from Frankfurt, so it's a long way away, a long way to go. But I love visiting her, I love the people there, and there's a lot more sun in Florida than here. I didn't grow up there though. I grew up in Ohio, and Ohio looks a lot like Luxembourg. It's maybe one reason I feel at home here, especially in the nature. I think to some extent everyone feels at home in nature because it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what language you speak, you're just a human being on the earth. But in my case, I think it's even more so here in the forest because it looks like my home state. I love trees. I've written a novel about a girl who comes from Ohio and finds herself at home here in the forest and learns to really love the Grand Duchy. And I've done a lot of paintings of trees, as you can see. I'm preparing an exhibition called The Amazon Forest for this year's Immigration Festival, and I'm painting on packages of Amazon packages and creating the Amazon forest. I love both of my countries the way that a child might love both of their parents, even if their parents are separated, and even if one of their parents is acting at the moment a little like a jerk.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Françoise Falisse. I'm Belgian and I started living abroad in the mid-90s. I lived in Nigeria at 2 different periods of my life, Egypt, Morocco, and I currently live in Luxembourg. Living abroad is a fantastic experience, but it can also be very challenging, namely when you face culture shock. It happened to me at different periods of my journey abroad. The first one I remember, it was in Nigeria. I remember I was taken on a sightseeing tour the very next day after my arrival. Oh, I discovered a different density of population, different colors, different smells, different behaviors, a different car fleet as well. And it took me a while to adjust and to understand how these people behaved. And then much later on, I left a society where people were more expensive to coming to Luxembourg, where people have a more discreet way of expressing themselves. And it took me some time as well to adjust my behavior to understand their belief system, because living abroad is also understanding how people live, move, what they believe in, what's their value system, and how you have to adjust yourself according to who they are in respect and in observing first before judging. My biggest challenge was that because my parents had a hard time accepting my absence, I did not feel quite legitimate to live that experience abroad. And it filled me with guilt, and it took me a long time to accept that I didn't abandon them. Another thing is that living far from people you grew up with, you have to build a new home elsewhere, and it takes time. It depends on the quality of true friends you can have, the quality of life, the resonance of a place, the quality of your job, and also the way you can revisit the relationships you have with your loved ones you left at home. Maybe they're your parents, your family, your parents, your family, and your friends. As we grow, we build unconscious biases, but as we move abroad, we question all these certainties. We often believe that the world revolves around ourselves, that we are the center of ourselves, that we are the center of the world, that we own the truth, which is not true. I remember in Egypt, unconsciously, I believed that because I came from West Europe, I was quite superior, my country was quite superior, at least from a technological point of view, and I felt superior as well. I realized that I was really wrong. First, because it questioned my definition of civilization, but I also realized that I needed local residents. I needed them. They knew things about their country I didn't know. And if I wanted to be able to adapt, I needed to change my mind and adopt a new mindset, more respectful, more accepting that I don't own the truth, that everyone has a part of it, and to become much more humble. It truly changed my perspective. Every country offers its opportunities to grow and discover different aspects about yourself. For me, it has been, in some countries, engaging into volunteering activities where I could discover the hardships some local residents experience in their daily life. It has been discovering African literature in a book group, or taking a training course to become a certified coach. What I now do, I guide women to self-awareness by assisting them to discover how to leverage their multicultural experience as a stepping stone to redefining their identity so they can unleash their growth, build their confidence, and shine their light. And in Luxembourg, the way I reinvented myself is to write a book, to write this book. This is the book I wrote, Nomadic Souls, a transformative guide for women to thrive abroad. And here is a short extract I want to share with you to close this video. Reaching out to the outside world also comes to us. Thank you.